Welcome back to another episode of the Randy Wilson Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Wilson. This is episode 72. This is Virginia's podcast for hip hop culture and intentional content. And we have a legend, living legend with us today, the street sweeper.
Knock it off.
No,
Here we go. Knock it off, man. Come on.
Listen, man. We do. I mean, the brother's obviously humble, man, but the brother's a legend, man. And we're going to get into it. We got so many things to talk about. But before we do, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and tell somebody, man. I'm like 28, 29 followers away from 1,000 on Instagram. I'm almost close to getting that check for $3.12. So I need y'all.
You can get it, baby. You got it. You got it.
Yo, man, help me, man. Push me over the top. Let the foot bring it on in, man. Look, Randy Wilson Podcast. You can learn more at randywilsonpodcast.com. This podcast can be found everywhere podcasts are played except SoundCloud. They hating. I can't explain it. Go talk to them. But yeah, look, as I promote everybody's podcast channel, I'm putting more emphasis in 2021 and suggesting people to come over to randywilsonpodcast.com. I own that. Got to stop giving, Scott, you got to stop putting so much into all these other media platforms and start representing your own. You know what I'm saying? So that's the move in 2021. But we got the street sweeper, DJ Foot. Brother, thank you for being on the show, episode 72.
Thank you for having me. I mean, I should have been on episode 3 or 4, but I mean, you waited till 72, bro.
I'm going to tell you why, man.
Randy?
I'm going to tell you why, bro. Honestly, man, listen, I don't recognize the reach. Like, I'm telling you now, I told you, like, this is a bucket list item for me. Like, and then quite frankly, at 3 or 4, I appreciate all those people who were on my show early, but like, I think having a conversation with me now is better than it was then because I continue to grow and learn through every episode. So like this episode is going to be better than if we would have had you on earlier, just because I began to kind of figure out how to manage these conversations better, man.
Well, I got to say before you go any further, man, I got to say big ups to you because for real, I've been checking out your podcast, man. And I think continued success for you because you, for real, you've been like, man, I'm like, this guy's really doing it, man. I mean, who is this guy, man? Where's he from? I mean, obviously he light-skinned. He's from the country. I mean, you gotta look at you. Look how you looking. Yeah, you from the country. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm from North Carolina, bro. I'm from North Carolina.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So like, I'm from corn liquor, moonshine, and tobacco fields. I'm definitely.
That is. It's all good, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my mom's from.
What part?
Whitaker.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, right down by right at Rocky Mountain, down that way.
Got you, man. But definitely, man, it's a pleasure to have you, sir. I know, Rocky Mount. See, I used to look. I knew this conversation was gonna go someplace. I'm gonna throw some names at you, and I know that you're gonna, I used to go to Rocky Mount back in like 06, 07. There was a brother by the name of Christian Michael, Fat Tommy, and Roots. I know you know the names.
Of course, man.
And there was a club down there. They used to have car shows. Yep. Mm-hmm. Stripper, and we used to go down there coming from Richmond, man, to Rocky Mount. It was like they thought we was like big city, right?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. That little club down up in that little hole down. Yeah, Well, we don't even want to talk about it.
It was Gaston, but
it was Gaston. Yeah, you got off on the Gaston exit.
Yep, same difference.
Make that right turn. Yep, the right turn by the Hardys. Yeah, I already know where you at. Yeah, I know where you at. Yeah.
Yep, man. But thank you for being on the show, man. This is going to be a really good show, man. It's going to be a really good show. So many things to kind of go into. We're going to cover things from Petersburg to Richmond, from, your career to your son to, we're going to go all around the map, man. But the first place I want to start, and I think this is more for the younger cats who's peeping the show, I've been following your career. I came to Richmond in 03, so sometime after that is when I became familiar with who you were, you know what I'm saying? And I was, those younger years, and it was the radio that obviously put me on. But what stood out to me with you and Lonnie B was that you were DJs in Richmond that were part of DJ collectives that were bigger than Richmond. And when I looked around the state, you just don't see a lot of that. And so in doing my preparation, because I try to do my homework in preparing for conversations, but like for real, I've been doing my homework for years before this conversation. I've been absorbing and studying people, what I'm saying, for a long time. So like
Okay.
when you come into this place where you're having conversations, I got plenty to ask, what I'm saying? But my question to you is, it's like, you a street sweeper.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And that's a pretty big deal. I mean, I don't know any other street sweepers in Virginia. Am I wrong?
No, it's not. It's not any. Well, other than my son, pretty much. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's on his way, but
Mm-hmm.
and to be perfectly honest with you, shouts to Lonnie because Lonnie made that happen. Lonnie, of course, Lonnie was a heavy hitter. He'd been a heavy hitter forever, and when he put the phone call in and he told me, he said, "Man, there's opportunity for you out here," and it was like he talked to a few people and he told them, just wait and hire Foot. I mean, get Foot to do it. I mean, and for this day, I mean, Lonnie has always been, Lonnie and I, ever since Lonnie was a youngin', Lonnie had always been like a go-getter for me. And he's always, man, that's my guy. That's all I can say. That's my guy.
Yeah.
Love him to death. And to this day, I can call him right now. We'll just go at it like we the worst of enemies, but we just, but we all laughing at all. But that's my guy, man. I mean, and if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't even have that moniker today, that the whole street sweeper thing, So shouts to Lonnie B for that. I mean, he made it happen for me, and with K Slay, I mean, it's like, we talk frequently, but I mean, it's not like it's something that I hold it near and dear to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a moniker, and I can take that with me all the way till the ground drops, But you know what I'm saying, and I guess at the end of the day, being a street sweeper is an honor because it's the closest one to me is in Charlotte, and that's pretty much real.
That's home for me.
Yeah.
That's home for me. Who's the street sweeper in Charlotte?
Yeah, Butterfingers.
DJ Butterfingers.
He on 98.
Okay.
Shout out to Butterfingers, man.
So can you give some context for those who may not be familiar with the collective of the street sweepers? Can you talk a little bit about how that kind of came together?
Actually, Jay Grand, and they used to call him Mighty Whitey. Jay Grand is a great friend of ours. I mean, he and K Slay, they pretty much had a coalition, and they got some in Massachusetts and all over the East Coast, and because K Slay is from New York, but he's the forefront of that. He carries the flag for that, and like I said, we talk off and on every now and then, and it's like it's a conversation that's here and there because he's busy all the time. He's definitely busy, and I'll reach out to him every now and then just to feel his pulse and see where he is, and but he's a good brother, man, and shout out to K Slay as well because he got a movement, and it is what it is. That's why I take that. I mean, I take that with a grain of salt, but I also carry the moniker very heavy. I mean, it's near and dear to my heart. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they put me in a situation where it was beneficial for me.
I just think it has to be recognized because there's a lot of up and coming DJs. It's a lot of established DJs. I mean, we have some extremely talented DJs in Virginia, and particularly in the 804, but we ain't got but one street sweeper. We ain't got but one heavy hitter.
Yeah.
And so, I think I'm at an age and a place in my life where, first off, I'm not a rapper and I'm not a DJ, so I don't have no reason to, shade or dismiss. As a podcaster, I'm here to empower, embrace, and give flowers and recognize it. And I think it's something that you just have to give respect where respect's due. You know what I'm saying? And so there may be some young people out there today that really don't even know who that is. They may know your son. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They may not even know that the OG is the street sweeper for real. And so I want y'all to go do y'all's research, but I wanted to start off by highlighting that because I just feel like it deserved this respect. I also have shared with you before the conversation. I shared in a recent post. How did this conversation come up? I don't know who I was talking to because I made a post recently, and Big Nat, he made a comment. He laughed about it. I said Big Nat and DJ Foot, and I'll say this to I mean, I'll say this to my grave. I have not seen a duo, two people together collaboratively on the radio that I felt like complemented each other so well or better than you guys have. And that's no diss to anybody else. I just don't think there is that dynamic. I can't think of another dynamic like that. You know, we've seen the the Sean Anthony and the uh what's the brother name? I forget.
Big Keith.
Big Keith. We seen them come in that transition. We were disappointed. I mean, I'm friends with Sean Anthony. You know, that's my guy, but we were disappointed.
They were good guys. They're good guys too. And there's ain't nothing bad I can say as far as they're concerned. But I think it was kind of like a slap in the face to us on a whole, because for real, when we established this, and I think we established this from just coming from the ground up. I mean, it wasn't like nothing was rehearsed. We never had to go ahead and do no show prep when it came to that. You know what I'm saying? We just went out and did what we had to do, and we were just two clowns just having fun. I mean, for real. And Nat is from New York, and of course, Nat is just being Nat, and I'm just being me, and it was a perfect match.
It was a perfect match. I mean, look, man, time has passed, but from again, I've been in Virginia as long as I've been anywhere. My wife, I married a Virginia woman, so she's quick to let me know and remind me that you ain't from Virginia, and that's fine. But Virginia's been home for me now for a minute. I think that it disappointed Virginia. We have not seen anything like that. You guys were, before podcasts, you guys were on radio, being able to bring your personalities to radio. It really almost inspired the next generation of podcast culture, because it put in people's, mind a vision of what they could be like. Because when you listen to radio now, in my opinion, a lot of radio, at least, and Mike Street talked about this. I mean, because I asked him some questions similar to this. It's like, radio folks, they have to follow a certain script. They have to follow under the guidelines of what people want, certain music, certain conversation. Yeah. You guys were able to do what you had to do, but also bring yourself to it in a way that we just hadn't seen that before, and there's no duo better. And I don't say that to dismiss anybody else. I say it more to pay homage and respect to those who I feel deserve. And if anybody's offended, I mean, it's just my perspective. You know what I'm saying? But I think that I share that perspective with a lot of others, man. Mm-hmm. I would like to see you guys more, even right now, doing some things. Can it happen? Can we see you guys?
Actually, more? Shout out to Nat, because Nat is being Nat. Nat is a go-getter, and he's really out there to do more things for, I guess from a visual standpoint, Nat is if you got a camera, Nat is there. Nat is everywhere with that. I mean, and he does such a magnificent job of what he does, man. He's just great at Nat is multi-talented.
He's really evolving. I mean, if I'm correct, he was, I heard him share a story one time on somebody's show. I mean, he was originally an MC. He was originally an artist.
He was a rapper. Yeah, Nat is a rapper. Yeah,
he fell into radio.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And now it looks like he's embarked on a whole nother venture with that camera. Like he
and with the radio, they used to say, they always thought that Nat was too loud, and he was too, he was too this, he was too. Nat was being Nat, and and Foot was being Foot. I mean, and I can honestly say, beyond a shadow of a doubt, nobody could say anything that was, that would offend Nat, because Nat really didn't care. And that's the part about him now, as being that much younger than me. That's what I appreciated so much about him, is that the fact that when I would be the live wire, he'd be the live wire at a party, but I would be the live wire when it came down to a serious situation. He would be like, chill. I mean, and I'm like, and I needed that balance, and he gave me that balance, man. And that's why I'm forever grateful. I could call right now, and Nat will give me, now I'm much older than he is, but he will still make sure that he will give me the advice, like as if he was older than I was. And that's something right now that keeps me young. And
I don't think we've heard anybody do better commercials either.
Oh,
Nat do it.
yes. Oh,
Nat do it.
yes.
That Nat'll do a commercial. I mean, he has a voice that you know who
Yes.
it is,
Yes.
but he can really evolve a commercial and own that commercial almost like he's marketing something for himself.
Right. Like you can have Nat do a commercial for a doctor's office.
Yeah.
And the doctor's office even gonna sound like it's gonna have some swag to it, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then he might be talking about some cookies or something, but he put swag on everything. And
Yeah,
that's
man.
my guy, man.
That's your
my
brother,
guy.
man. I just I want to pay homage to that. I
Yes,
want to
sir.
pay homage to that. So let's go home. You home now, I would imagine. Foot Clan, you got, I said, but he got all the aesthetics, you know what I'm saying? He's got all the stuff straight. Petersburg is home, correct?
Yes, yes.
Man, let me tell you what, man. I come to Petersburg and I can't get out of Petersburg. I can't. I mean, I came to Petersburg, man. I interviewed the president of Virginia State University. I interviewed the mayor. And then I got into the hip hop, you know what I'm saying, community with Porter, Fresh Porter and Rel with .com. You're right. I just started moving around in Petersburg. I couldn't get out of Petersburg for a minute. Like I was in Petersburg for like 3 weeks straight. But it seems to me that there's so much movement in the art community in Petersburg. To me, even though it's a smaller place, more churches in Petersburg per square mile than anywhere in the country.
Who you telling, man?
Well, and the mayor told me that the giving was up during COVID because they didn't have anywhere else to put the money. The churches were still giving, doing their work. But it seems to me that you could find 20, 25, creative minds in Petersburg that possibly could move and create more attention and traction and momentum than 25 in any other area. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I definitely agree because there's so much talent right in this closely knit area, that I mean it's a lot of talented individuals. I mean, whether it be music, arts, I mean it's just a lot of talent out here, period. And to say that, I was talking to Say, shout out to Say from Street Rats. I was talking to him and he told me, he said, Foot is a lot of talent in Petersburg, and I'm like, bro, I've been trying to tell you that for the longest. I mean, but y'all just didn't listen. But, now I've gotten to the point now where all I got to do is just sit back and just watch everything evolve, because I've been saying that forever. It's a lot of talent down here, and being that I work in Richmond, and to come down here and see how much talent there is down here, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it is so much talent. And I'm just amazed at how people waited so late and so long for that to happen, for to finally say that, and even to the clubs. When I used to go to clubs up here, people would be like, man, in Petersburg, people got the movement, man. They got the movement. Yes, I mean, we know that, but it was like, I told you that a while ago, but you didn't listen. But it ain't to say I told you so, but it's kind of like an I told you so.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. I seen you recently. Well, first off, before I go there, you born and raised, you grew up in Petersburg?
Yeah, well, actually in Dinwiddie, yeah. Right,
okay.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, for those who are listening, again, as I shared with you, I'm from North Carolina. I want people to recognize, like, you got Blair Underwood, Moses Malone, Trey Songz, obviously, Frank Mason, the basketball player. There's another basketball player that played for the Boston Celtics. I forget his name. Devontae Green. There's professional NFL players.
Sure. Curtis Spain and you talking about Kendall Langford and yeah.
Yo,
and we had people like
Lee Major. I don't hear people speak Lee Major's name a lot, and Lee Major is
talented. He's very talented. Yes, he's
crazy.
Very talented. Yeah.
And I could keep going. There's new up and coming talent, and not so much new, but new to the extent of beginning to get more attention. The Fresh Porters.
Yep.
The Kari 1K.
804 Nano. It's just
that Nano kid. I really like 804. I like Nano.
Yes. I just did his mixtape, Anaconda Vice. You know what I'm saying?
I saw you recently. Did I see you in the studio with .com music group with Rel and Nano?
Yeah.
So you tapped in though. Like, not only, like, what's the difference? Are you more tapped in now than you were, 10, 15 years ago? And I'm saying that from the standpoint, because you're the OG.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, these guys, I practically watch watch these young fellas grow up. You know what I'm saying? When we were doing what we were doing out there, these young cats was coming up. They was trying to get to the clubs and they couldn't get in, and now it's their time to shine. That's why, you know, it's easy for me to step back and say, okay, yeah, well, okay, well, let them shine. I mean, let them shine. I just do what I do when it's time for me to do it. I mean, you know, I'm humbled by everything, and the fact that like Edo Fonano, he came to me and he told me straight up. He said, "OG, I want you to do my mixtape because for real, it ain't gonna be right if you don't do it." And you saw me come up from the mud, you know, and I was like, okay, I mean, I'll do it. And it's just a blessing to be recognized by even the young cats, you know, because they realize what's going on, even in my neighborhood in West Petersburg. Shout out to them. I mean, it's talent right there, right in my neighborhood. Guys that I watch grow up. I've seen them run around in the yard in Pampers, you know, and it's like, it's just a good feeling to know how they're doing. I mean, and, you know, they're just to know that they're doing good, you know? So
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yo, so like, I'm not gonna say your age, but you surprised me just now earlier. I'm not gonna say your age. You just surprised me that you are your age, and you're not an old person. But I just expected. I would assume that you was younger. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean,
Everybody
I've been in Richmond for 18 years, so the way I've kind of perceived you is like you were close to my age. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and you referenced Nat a few minutes ago, which is probably closer to my age, but you know, it's like I would have not known that you was a little bit older than me, right? My question to you is this: what's the difference between Foot now and Foot 15 years ago? When it comes to the mentorship
like,
and the guidance piece, particularly.
Yeah, I would have been more driven. You know, I could say I would have been more hungrier than I was, but to be able to get what I got pretty much completed, like I want to say it was a bucket list for me, because being able to be on the road at the age that I was, it was like, damn, man, I wish this would have happened when I was like 28 or 30 or something like that, you know. But to be on the age that I was, and to have Trey come to me and say, hey, man, let's go. I mean, I told you I was gonna come and holler at you. Let's get on the road. Let's go. Let's do it. I kind of like wish it would have happened at a younger age. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wish I would have been like Trey's age, and ain't no telling where it would be right now. You know, because for real, like I said, to see him as a young man and be as driven as he was, and shout outs to Trey, because for real, Trey, contrary to what anybody else say, that man is a businessman. He knows how to conduct his business. He knows how to handle his business. Any of the other stuff, I don't know nothing about it. And if I did know anything about it, I wouldn't say nothing about it. So, I mean, you know, my thing is, that guy is one of the best guys I ever worked for. He's a hell of a businessman, and he's a perfectionist when it comes to this music thing. You know, he really I just stood there and watched him. I was like, damn, man, what this guy been all the, I mean, you know, I remember him as a little kid, him running around here with his mom and his dad, you know, I mean, and just to see him just evolve as a megastar, the star that he is, you know, it was just amazing.
Let's touch on Trey for a minute, man. So for those of you who don't know, Foot was the official DJ for Trey Songz, and I went to a few of those shows. Let me ask you this, because you kind of touched on something, like the way you touched on that is kind of how I personally felt about podcasting. But then, like, I wish I would have started it younger, but then I didn't really know. I don't know. It didn't make sense to me then, right? The way you said that, it's like, I don't feel like you've aged. I don't feel like you've aged out. Or to me, it don't seem like as a DJ anymore that you can age out.
Right,
like,
exactly.
You may want to, your priorities may be different. You know, you may want to spend more time with the family. You know, you may be tired. You know, you just may not be the hustle and bustle. You know what I'm saying? You know, you may not, you know, It's a lot of distractions out in these streets. You know what I'm saying? There may be a lot of reasons in regard to why you say, at this point in my life, I don't want to do it. But do you think that is it age? I don't see how you could age out of like hitting the street, hitting hitting different countries, being on these big stages. Like, and I'm asking all that to see if you can swing that into like, if you can speak to it, like what contributed to you saying, I don't want to do this anymore.
Well, actually, that wasn't the case. I mean, it was a health issue that I had with a leg injury that for real, that slowed it up. And for Trey to even tell me straight up, I mean, contrary to what anybody says, because of course, the streets talk, and everybody gets to the point where they be like, man, Foot fired. I mean, Trey fired Foot, and yada yada yada. That wasn't how it happened at all. I had a ruptured varicose vein in my leg, and it happened in Tokyo, of all places, in Japan. And it happened again.
I don't know if I'd want to get hurt and sick in Tokyo.
Exactly. Now, well, that's why I said to myself, man, I'm gonna die right here in Japan, man. I mean, ain't no damn reason for me to be over here dying, and and
pre-corona.
For real, man. And then it happened again. Oh no, I was going to catch a flight to San Francisco, so I had to delay that flight. And then the last time it happened right before we started a tour. I think it was with Monica. We're still going to start that tour. And he sent me down and told me straight up. I mean, man, it's going, not hold him up, But he told me, he just in a humble way. They told me straight up, it's going to be like, you can't go out on the road like this, man. I mean, if something happened, he'll be held liable for that, and that's pretty much how it went. So, I mean, for real, if anybody really wanted to know what happened, all you had to do was ask Foot, what I'm saying? He would have told you, but that guy has been, like I said, if it wasn't for Trey, I would have been to London as many times as I did, Amsterdam. I mean, how many black people go to Copenhagen? I don't know. I mean, how many people can say that they done been there? I mean, I can. I mean, just to be able to do things and to go to Mexico City for spring break and to be, in Miami for spring bling and, and just to be on multiple shows, Monique and, Alexa Chung and Wendy Williams and Jimmy Kimmel. Come on, man. I mean, who did all of this? I mean,
I'm not gonna lie, man. When we used to see you out there on these platforms, though, I think I can speak for a lot of people. Like, we all knew Trey was there. You know what I'm saying? That Trey was, big, huge. I mean, we immediately grew to expect that's Trey Songz. But when we saw you back there doing your thing, that was a little different. I was like, yo, we saw it. We just seen it immediately. Like, whoa.
Right.
And it was good to see. It was good to see. Like, it was good to see. I mean, it's like, yeah, you the OG, but you DJ Foot though. Like, you are one of the best DJs, from this area, you know what I'm saying? And really bigger than that. So I feel like it was the right. Trey did what Trey did. People got to give homage and respect to the fact that some people they get up and they don't look back. You know what I'm saying? Trey looked back and it was like, yo, he remember, you know what I'm saying, when he was a nappy-headed kid with the braids, you know what I'm saying, who he was trying to probably push the CD to, you know what I'm saying? And that was the move to make, and you from Petersburg.
Yeah. Well, that goes back to, myself, Nat, and Lonnie. I mean, the three of us were really like, I ain't gonna say we were instrumental in pushing Trey, but anything that, they would tell you. I mean, if Trey can tell you he had a song at 5:00 in the evening. By 7:00, shout out to A+, we would get A+ to edit it. And that would drop it. Boom. I mean, it was just like that. I mean, and that's pretty much when radio was radio. You know what I'm saying? We could have fun doing it, and we would just take advantage of it. Anytime. I mean, it was just so innovative to do some of this stuff, and we just had fun doing it, man. I mean, it's all in all, that was just the whole thing in a nutshell. And like I said, when Lonnie was doing the Sunday show with him and V, they used to play a lot of Trey music, and and then we latched on as well. So I mean, so it was like he hit the trifecta with that. So
How's the leg doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I got
you back. You back.
yeah,
You 100%.
I've been. That was years ago, man.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm good.
So could it happen again?
Could that happen again?
Could we see you get back on the main stage?
I mean, of course. I mean, it ain't like I couldn't do it. I mean, it's like a more seasoned now, and he's definitely more seasoned. So I mean, to see that, I mean, we tried to get that. We tried to make that happen. I think we tried to make that happen back home when Trey was doing a back home tour, back home thing, and for some odd reason that didn't happen. So, but who knows what the future holds?
We're gonna put it in the air. We putting it in the air. We putting it in the air.
That's still my guy though. Shout out to Trey and and his whole family and everything that they've done and everything that they continue to do. I mean, we still. I mean, hey man, we still family. I mean, we're still family.
Yo, so going back to that time, we're going back. We're talking about the 2000. That's that era. What's that like? Trey got on. That's like 2003 to two. I'm thinking about the Trey songs came on probably like the 2003 to like 2006. Is that somewhere in that time frame where we got Trey songs? Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, once he caught on, it just
took off.
Kept evolving. It kept evolving. I mean, you can never say enough when it comes to his versatility as far as music is concerned, because Trey would drop a mixtape or Trey would do a cover. It was nothing. I mean, it was like there have been times when I could be right in the room right here and Trey on the hotel on the next side, right on the other side of this room, this door over here. Trey is, I mean, he would take his little unit with him and go out there and, I mean, for real, just lay it out, man. I mean, for real. That's why I was so fascinated by the fact that he was so young but yet and still he was so driven, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Trey would get on it. That's when they was screening earlier then. I mean, that's when he would get on I forgot what you called it. But anyway, Trey he would tell him he gonna blog at like maybe about like 7:00. And there would be so many people following him, man,
MySpace.
All the way across the country. I mean, if Trey from Virginia, if Trey gonna be in LA, believe me, they had a crew from Memphis, they had crews from Chicago. I mean, it was like, that's why I felt like so much like family. Every time they would pop up at a show, it doesn't matter where we were, they would be there. So yeah, it's just certain things that just made you feel like being at home. You're home away from home, your family away from home, so that was a good look.
Yo, man, you've seen so many people. Yes. Come, go, grow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is there anybody in recent years that you've seen, or is there anybody that you see right now? You know what I'm saying? Is anyone that kind of sparks your attention right now that you feel like possibly has what it takes to blow up out of here?
Well, it's quite a few. It's quite a few here, but I mean, it's like I said, just a little bit more grooming and just a little more discipline. And you never know. One of them can pop up today. I'm not going to put the stamp on nobody, because right now I really feel like it's like if you put the stamp on them, you're putting a bad, not bad luck, not bad luck, but it's just that you don't want them. I guess you don't want to see them you want to see them fall, you just want to see them succeed, and the more you talk about them and the more you see them, it's the more you can physically see it yourself, and you can just pretty much say, oh, he's next, because to this point right now, besides Trey and Chris, I haven't seen too many people with the versatility that those guys have. You can sing and you can rap. I mean, and it's like it's amazing, man. I mean, like I said,
so outside of versatility, outside of that, from a skill set standpoint, like what other ingredients do you feel like? And I'll throw one in. Like, is it discipline?
Definitely discipline. I mean,
commitment.
For real, these guys. I mean, from the time that I saw Trey evolve as an artist to these guys now, I mean, it's like everybody feels like they are so privileged to be able to they think it's just going to happen overnight. If they see in this man work ethic, they should know, that, hey, man, it won't no easy road to get here, Just I can say that for myself. I mean, to be a guy from Petersburg and to finally hit that big stage in Richmond, I mean, to hit that platform, it was kind of hard for me because I felt like it wasn't going to ever happen. I mean, but I wasn't really looking to be a radio DJ anyway, because they had their share of people, and they had, of course, they had their, they had their picks up there, but be a guy from here, there was nobody that could tell you that, hey, man, this guy ain't gonna do it. Until, shout out to Mitch Malone, RIP, man. I mean, he was the guy that used to say, man, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. I mean, and then when I finally did it, he said, you got it, take it and run with it. But Mitch was that guy, man, and we all, Lonnie, all of them. I mean, we can all say that Mitch was a major influence in our radio careers. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but from that standpoint, Mitch was from Petersburg as well. And to be able to follow those footsteps is something special.
Yeah, respect, man.
Yes.
It's also special to have Sean Breezy. You know what I'm saying? Your son coming up right in your footsteps, man. Let's talk about that. And he's also on the radio, if I'm correct.
Yes. But
did you groom him for this? Did he just fall in love with it?
Well, I mean, grooming, I ain't gonna say grooming. Sean kind of came into his own. I mean, I gave him the tools to do it, and he took it from there. I mean, Sean just stayed at home. Sean practiced his craft. And, he used to come out and I used to see him do certain things. And I would look at him like, I'd give him that look like, oh, punch your ass. Because for real, I mean, when, it's like,
yeah, he's showing you up on something.
Shining on your daddy, right? I mean, and that's what, but with that being said, I mean, Sean has been humbled by a lot of the OGs from around here where I'm from. I mean, you got the Dr. Smooths and the Lloyd T's, and the Dirty Monies and DJ Cook and and Raj P. I mean, those are for real. Those are 5 guys that I can really say help mold my son. Well, Ampro, and it's a couple other those guys. I mean, and then it's like, once they caught a little bit of flame to that, it was like, okay, we got something else here. It's like another one in the making. And and they look at my son as that's their nephew, because all those guys are my brothers, and I love them for that, because for real, when they see him fall to the side, they'll snatch his collar real quick and they'll let him know, hey man, you're wrong, and that's one of the things that I love about these guys from around here. Contrary to what anybody else think, there's a lot of talented DJs around here too. And if I can touch on that, I mean, they're like legends to me, because everybody has their own special flair when it comes to it. So I mean, it's a lot of them, but it's a chosen few of them that you can really just say, okay, yeah, well, and I can put the stamp behind any of them. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So.
Do you and your son kind of switch off? Y'all go back and forth a little bit? Y'all compete?
Well, actually, no, because I mean, it's for real.
He ain't ready for that. He ain't ready.
No. I'm for real. I'm gonna say this. I'm not ready now, because for real, the boy is a problem, man. He's a problem. And I say that with everything I have. I would put him out there and just let him go, because when he do parties and if we're doing a party together, I can just get out of the way, because for real, I can pretty much sit up and say, okay, I'm gonna play this. And I'm sitting there just watching it evolve. And I can sit there, close my eyes, and before I know it, I'm hearing it, and I'm looking over my shoulder, and I can see him playing like some of this exact same stuff that I would play. I mean, being that he knew that this is the type of stuff that I play, he would go out here and go left, exactly left, and say, "No, Pop, I'm trying to switch it up. I'm trying to switch it up a little bit." And it would be some of the things that I will play. I might forget about them. He ain't gonna let me forget about them, So that's why I'm saying he's the complete package. He can play old school. He can play new school. He definitely can play that trap stuff. And Sean is just amazing, man. I mean, and it's like I said, he was groomed just like Lonnie groomed Aaliyah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just, man, it's amazing, man. It's amazing.
That's dope, man. Like I believe in being vulnerable in moments. Like, I'm not gonna lie, until I was but this is respect to you. Your name is still bigger to me than him. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really know. Shout out to DJ Banger, because he directed my attention to recognizing that was your son. Like, right. I'd heard the name, mm-hmm. and I'd seen pictures and stuff, but like I didn't really put the dots together until I started preparing. So I'm always saying that to you, because to some of us, man, much respect to your son, but Dad's the OG for real. And like,
yeah.
I just.
And he knows that too. He knows.
Yeah. I just I didn't. So now, honestly, because of me learning that that's your son, it really drives me now to go listen to him more.
Yeah.
Because as I was sharing with you, man, I be listening to a lot of Q94. I'm not even gonna front, man. Like, I listen to a lot of different radio
shout out to the Q.
stations.
That's our station. That's our sister station. And and they, shout out my man Matt Murphy and Denny and Liz and all of them. They still out there right now. They still jumping. So
a lot of people look at me right now. They looking back. They like, what? Listen, I listen to all music. So like, and you know what? Now I will say this constructively. Respect to Q94. I listen to you. You're my son's favorite channel. My son got the commercials and everything down pat. But it's like 8 songs. It's like 8 songs, man.
I appreciate it, but for real, that's how we were raised, though. We were raised up listening to like Q94 and all of those stations that, I mean, they before urban even really, took off like it did. Then once it was Power. It was Laser 93, I think. And it was before Power really took off. I mean, we had to listen to versatility, man. You had to listen to your Durans and all of that.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Foot, man. I'm a little burnt out. Like, I listen to a lot of music, but like I YouTube and I XM. I love Lloyd Sear on XM, Shade 45. I love Lloyd Sear. Like, Lloyd Sear is probably my favorite, like, Shade 45, just because he talks. It's just crazy. You know what I'm saying?
But that was all I got too. And we were not, I ain't gonna say we were approached, but Sean Prez from Bad Boy Records, Bad Boy Entertainment, and he told Nat and myself, y'all boys need to be syndicated on somebody's station,
For sure.
And shout out to Reggie Hawkins, man. I still to this day, man. I think he kind of like shut us down, because we did an air check. We gave him an air check, and if you get the endorsements from Sean Prez and by Young Sav, Kendall and all of them, it was Nat, myself, A+, Honey B, all of us. I mean, we had a collective. I mean, we had a unit, man. I mean, it was a family. I mean, we had a morning show at night.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing, man. I mean, to be who we were, it was just regular people. It wasn't like we were, man, I can be perfectly honest with you and say, right now, what the Breakfast Club is doing, man, we were doing it a minute ago. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Yep.
Man. Yeah, for real. I mean, just keep it 100. I mean, we were the Breakfast Club before the Breakfast Club. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, man, you guys should create your own podcast or your own show. Honey B back. Look, y'all. Honey B was a baby back then. Y'all sent her off to Atlanta and everywhere else, New York, everywhere else, and she got her foundation with you guys.
Man, look at this guy, globetrotter for real. I mean, he left here and went to St. Louis, Detroit. I mean, Cincinnati. Now he's in Cleveland. Come on, man. I mean, this guy's doing it real big. That's like, and to watch him grow and evolve, from a kid. I mean, he used to just read liners for us. And then, I mean, first he was lining them on Sundays. And then, we pulled him on in. We kind of like, well, actually, the boss was like, man, just have him reading liners and yada, yada, yada. And after that, Plus fell right into place, man. I mean, Plus made his own image, created his own image, man.
Yep.
And the rest is history, man. So shout out to A Plus. That's my young homie, man, from all the days of, him from Virginia State back home and, and then getting up early in the morning, picking him up in the morning, taking him home. That was hey, man, that guy was like my son, man, for real, for real. So
yeah, shout out A Plus, man.
Different.
Yo, so tell me this, Foot, man. Give me this a little bit. So I don't ever hear. I never hear anybody talk about D'Angelo from a Richmond radio standpoint. Did you guys have any involvement with breaking any music from D'Angelo ever?
Well, you didn't have to break
in any engagement. Like D'Angelo's out in Powhatan, if I'm correct.
Well, personally, yeah. All I know, and he was from Richmond. I mean, that's all I knew, and to be able to be as talented as he was, and for nobody to really, I mean, for him to fly under the radar like that and then just explode on the scene, it was something special. And then to see him in concert was like, man, a treat itself, man. I'm like, damn, what was all these years, I mean, and man, it's talent. It's talent, just like I said, it's talent galore around here, and like, these guys are just, it's amazing, man. It's amazing.
But D'Angelo didn't need, did he tap into radio in trying to break himself?
Really, in my opinion, I don't think he really needed to, because for real, he was just a hit maker, straight off the gate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me. Now, maybe I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but that man he was just a straight talent that anything you heard was like, it was, okay, we can run with this too. Or if you heard another one, okay, well, I like that one. Or when he dropped Lady, it was like, oh man, push all the money on the front of the table. You know what I'm saying? That's a wrap right there.
Here, he's gone. And then he made such an impact in by traveling to New York.
Right.
So I mean, another person from the area that's extremely diverse. Not so much a rapper, but like, when he gets on stage and he's on there with a band, you know what I'm saying? He can get generations. He can go like get your grandparents engaged. You know what I'm saying? He can get your great grandparents, because he reminds them of something that, you know what I'm saying, that they connected to, that they could vibe to. So yeah, I was curious about that. Man, so let me see where I want to go this, because we kind of curve in fourth quarter. Look, when I talk to folks, Foot, I like to talk about, it's easy to talk about music. It's easy to talk about, the things that people expect you to talk about when you're talking to a person who's an industry expert in their area. But I also think it's important that I provide opportunities for people to speak about things that have importance to them. I mean, you a father, you a man, you know what I'm saying? You are
grandfather,
grandfather. Yeah. And, we going through some interesting times in this world where, you can't even get gas. You know what I'm saying? You can't even send your kids to school comfortably, you know what I'm saying, right now because of the COVID, you know what I'm saying? So like, with what you see right now in this world, in this time, you know what I'm saying, that we're living in, what are you doing? What do you feel like is your role outside, you know what I'm saying, of the brand and the person you are? But like, what else do you feel like is important for you to impact this culture, this upcoming culture? You know what I'm saying? Or your neighbors? Like, how do you feel like you should use your voice right now, you know what I'm saying, to contribute to change in our community?
Well, just for real, because every day when you look at the news or you're hearing something, it's always something, talking about equality and privilege and all of that stuff, man. I mean, even to the sporting world, and it's politics, and it's just everything is just so for real, it's so screwed up, and will one person make a change? No, but I mean, and like the old saying goes, it takes a village, and some things you just gotta I don't know, just some things you just got to grab and hold on to. And my biggest one is faith. I mean, that's all I can hold on to, man, because for real, I've had, in 2019, I had a stroke, and, I had
In 20
to,
what?
2019, I had a stroke. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had to bounce back from that. And, and thank God to guys like, like my family, of course, my family, my kids, like people like Mike Street, Nat, you know, RJ, Tut, all of those guys were like, and of course, about my guys, I mean, the guys that I mentioned earlier, all
Yeah.
of those guys were like right there, and, my partner, DJ Dada, all of these guys were like there for me, and it's like to this day, I still got family and friends that still reach out to me, and they're just here for me, and it's like some of the things you just gotta, like me personally, like I said, I just stay out of the way of a whole lot of things that really just, I don't know. I mean, as long as I'm able to just do what I do for the masses, and just to be able to get out here and give them, positive vibe, and just do what needs to be done. I mean, with everything going on now, you just gotta stay focused, man. You just gotta stay driven. I mean, just gotta just maintain. That's all.
Yeah.
Just hold on to everything, man. I'm
Have,
more
have you have your
I'm
family have your family been good with this coronavirus? Have you had any?
Yeah, everybody has, early January, I had to scare, I had to
Mhm.
scare in early January, and it took me like 3 weeks to get myself together. But I mean, I'm fully vaccinated. I mean, I'm just, man, I'm just blessed. I'm just
Yeah.
blessed to be able to, to do what I do, man. I mean, and like I
Yeah,
said,
I'm fully vaccinated also, and I'm glad to hear you say that. To each his own. I've been working in healthcare for a long time, so like I had the privilege of having the opportunity to make that decision for myself.
right.
Several months ago, and I chose to make that decision. My wife's immune compromised, and I got my own, autoimmune issues, and so that was a choice I made for myself. But like, I'm glad I'm happy when I hear someone comfortably publicly speaks on behalf of their choice to do so.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly fine with those who choose not to.
Yeah.
But I'm particularly happy for those who speak on behalf of doing so in the Black community because um, just so much barbershop conversation. There's so much conversation everywhere I go, locker room conversation, gym. It don't matter where I'm at on behalf of all the reasons why we shouldn't. And maybe we shouldn't. I don't know. But at the end of the day, man, you got to use your own judgment and choice to make a decision in regard to what's best for you. And where the way I feel right now, I tend to think that making a decision for something is better than not making a decision for something. Yeah. Look, every day you wake up, you have an opportunity to make decisions in regard to what's could be in your best interest.
All right.
You can make them or you can choose not to make them. Sometimes choosing not to make them is what's in your best interest also. But like, I think that whether you get vaccinated or not, you got to speak positivity. You got to
Mhm.
speak, you got to be progressive. You got to speak it into the air. And to me, a lot of the conversation from people who are against the vaccine, I don't hear positive things on behalf of why. I don't hear information that supports it. And so I'm just saying that because anytime I hear someone who speaks for it, there seems to be purpose behind why. We're trying to live. You know what I'm saying? If you've been through anything where you've had, you've been tested, you know, all the decisions that you make at this point in your life should be to live. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad to hear you say that. A lot of people they don't want to speak on it.
Right, right. But me personally, I I live on strong faith because for real, it's like, being that Mother's Day just passed, 3 years ago, on like maybe on the 15th of May. I mean, this month is a very difficult month for me, and this podcast for real is really uplifting for me because for real, I mean, to be able to do it, number one, and number two, to be able to do this in a moment right now where I'm feeling like, like it's kind of tugging away at my heart because I lost my mom like 3 years ago, and her birthday is tomorrow,
Mm.
12th. And like talking to my family, and like I said, they having strong family beliefs and having just a strong support system and that strong background, it means everything to me, because for real, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. This whole weekend, I've been like toe up, but I mean, and if anybody ever been through what I've been through, you can try to be as tough as you want to be, around anybody else or around everybody else. But if you know me, I, man. I mean, when it comes to that subject right there is so touching and so, I guess, hot driven to me. I just gotta be the way that I am. I mean, and it's like I talked to my boss. I talked to Street the other day, and I told him straight up. I said, man, I mean, me, and I can't believe right now I'm sitting here in front of a camera, and and just being this, because it's people like you that's got us, for real, in a good place right now, man. And it's like I said, I can appreciate things like this, man. And some things you use for motivation, and some things you use for, just to have that definite drive. And this is one of them.
Yo, man, I appreciate you, man. We got something in common there. I'm fortunate enough to have my mother still living.
Right.
She's sick. People who know me well know that I got a very close relationship with my mom, and I've been through hell with her.
Right.
She's still pumping away. But I lost my grandmother 21 years ago. I think it was the 15th, and her
Right.
birthday I think it's the 19th. So May's a rough month for me too. Growing up, what I had, my mother had 7 brothers, and every one of them died except one. And so I experienced kind of hands on, like between the ages of 12 and 20, I lost my whole family almost. Like I lost 6 uncles, both my grandparents, like a host of cousins and stuff, generational within my own generation. So to be young between 12 and 20 and you losing people, you know what I'm saying? There's like 13 and 15, 18. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So like Mother's Day, Mother's Day is tough for me because even though I have my mother,
Mhm.
I struggle being supportive to my mother through her lack of happiness because of all the loss that she has
Right.
experienced, that we've experienced, man. So yeah, don't want to get too touchy, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, I know,
it's a
but I mean,
real
when
situation.
you got family is a real strong part with me, because for real, when I was out on the road, man, my mom used to always, she would compliment and call me and tell me how proud she was of me, and and to be out on the road overseas, to be able to do what I was doing, and for her to be able to see all of that, man. I mean, it just makes me feel like, hey, man, my mom was there to see it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I mean, that's a blessing. That's a super blessing, and
yeah.
to have 5 sisters and 2 brothers to be able to
Wow.
all of that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just makes me feel good. And, not to mention my kids and my grandkids, and it's like I said, it's just a blessing, man, to be able to be the person that I am, and to be able to have platforms like this to put that out there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
So
gonna tell you what, man. You've showed me so much respect in regard to what I got going on, man. You don't know, realize like how much I appreciate that, man. Like I said, you are, you know what I'm saying, a staple in our community, particularly in this hip hop community, you know, throughout the whole state of Virginia, really. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, there ain't no other street sweepers in Virginia. You know what I'm saying? So I
appreciate
just want you to know how much that means to me. Bucket list item. Very honored, very appreciative to be able to have this conversation. Um, Before we close, though, I do some randomness. I ask you some random questions. You know, I'm not gonna. I
Okay.
don't want you to think too hard. You know what I'm saying? Just respond. But you pick a number between 1 and 10.
7.
Cool. Seven's a key number. All right. So I'm gonna ask 7 random questions, and they're gonna possibly tie into some of the things or some of the people that you may have referenced today. Okay. Try to make it special. Try to make moments. You know what I'm saying? Particularly if I can make good moments for the gram, I'm definitely going to. You spoke about question number 1. You spoke about Mike Street, the goat himself, the legend, one of the most highly respected PDs out there. I think he run if I'm pronouncing it correctly, the Marconi Award. I believe it's what is recognized as, you know what I'm saying? He's just great. I mean, there's only 5 other people, black people, who have won that award. I'll be doing my research, you know what I'm saying? Mike Street is one of those folks. If you had to sum up a quick definition of how you would speak on Mike Street, how would you speak on him?
The greatest. The greatest.
Wow.
My God, man. I mean, not because of that, but because when he opened the door for me, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, being not from here, you know, to be able to, I mean, Mike is like a younger brother, but he's that big brother. You follow what I'm saying? If you can, that's what I'm saying. Because he does what he do so well, man. That's just that guy, man. He's the greatest. He's the greatest.
Okay. Number 2. I see you got a Knicks pillow behind you, man.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about him. I'm a Laker fan. I mean, hardcore Laker fan. And I'm a Charlotte Hornet fan. That's the home team.
Hornets. I knew it'll come out sooner or later.
That's the home team.
You sit there with a Washington Nationals hat. Okay, yeah, okay.
Well, I ain't going to lie. Look, I don't watch no baseball. I got this hat. Somebody gave me this hat because of the W. With my last name being Wilson, you know what I'm saying? I figured, man, I'd throw the hat on.
Mine for stand for West Petersburg, but I don't. But I'm a Yankees fan, so yeah, know that. Man.
Got you. I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't watch baseball, man. I don't, man. I can talk basketball with the best of them. Listen. Arguably, I'm one of the best basketball players you've ever came in contact with. Arguably, I'm just telling you. I used to be. I'm not gonna say I am anymore, but that's how I ended up here. I came here after playing basketball. I had 1 year left to walk on at Virginia State, but that was a grad student. So that didn't really pan out well while I was trying to work 3 jobs and go to school. But that's many years ago. But now I'm not going to talk bad about the Knicks. You can't right now.
I was going to say
they playing great.
We're playing the Lakers tonight. I don't know how that's going to turn out, but I mean,
it's
okay, yeah. Well, it's funny you would say, okay, now I got you. I'm with you now. Okay.
It's hard to say. Well, let me ask you this though, man. Should the Knicks get rid of Dolan? I mean, is that your guy or what? How do you feel?
He needs to go. He needs to go. After the stuff he pulled, man, especially with Oak, man. I mean, he needs to go.
Yeah.
Because that was blatant disrespect, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, even with Patrick Ewing, I mean, they you know, at the tournament, you see what they did to him. You know, they wouldn't even let him through the doors.
Yeah.
I mean, he got to go.
Hold on. No, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know, when they were doing the tournament, I mean, you know, Ewing went to go into the Garden, and they had
he got to go. He got to go then.
Yes.
I don't even know how. To me, that makes it even difficult for a player like Julius Randle or Derrick Rose to even want to play for the organization.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely the hottest ticket in town right now.
They are. Well, in town, I don't know if they're the hottest team you think they're the hottest team in New York?
Well, no, not in New York. I said in town. I mean, in town could be anywhere.
But they definitely got the pulse, though.
Yeah, there you go.
They got the pulse, man. Yeah. Now, I'm not even going to talk bad about the Knicks, man. Look, I'll ask this question. What is your projection for the Knicks in the playoffs? Do you think they make it to?
We'll make it to the second round.
Second round exit. You know, I'm glad you're realistic.
We know we're not going to win the big one. You know what I'm saying? If we started today, right now, we would be playing the Hawks. And I think we could easily beat those.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad to see you're a realistic fan, though. You know, because for us, the Lakers, man, we only have one goal and one goal only. That's to get the chip. We have no other choice. Now, my Hornets,
y'all got a lot going on over there, man. Y'all got a lot going on,
and I'm concerned about LeBron's ankle. I don't know if LeBron. I don't think this. I don't know if LeBron that we might hook. I don't want to say it, but LeBron's ankle injury is taking some time, and it's only going to be a matter of time when Father Time's going to kind of set in. It makes you wonder, you know, like, should he take the whole season off? Should he risk it? What's the deal? Because this is a long time ankle injury right here.
Well, it's a plan. They got to play in too. You know what I'm saying? They got to work. They got to work, bro. They got to work for it. You got Portland over there. You got Golden State trying to play in. I mean, of course, you know, you got Phoenix.
Yeah,
and you got who else? You got the Clippers.
But we beat them. We beat Utah. Was it Phoenix? We beat Phoenix the other night.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. It was the other night.
Yo, question number 3: chicken or fish?
Chicken.
Fried or grilled? or baked or
It don't matter for real.
don't matter?
What fish it is, yeah.
Got you. Number 4. Give me your top 5 hip hop artists of all time.
Wow. Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, of course you got to put Tupac in there, and I like Ice Cube, man. I ain't
Okay.
gonna-
Okay. That's a respectable 5. That's a very respectable 5.
Yeah.
I think that was my 4th question. I think. All right. 3 more. 3 more questions.
Come on with it.
Who's the hardest MC? Listen, I'm not talking about accolades. I'm not talking about public recognition. In your opinion, who has been one of your favorite MC artists to come out of this area in the past 25 years?
Well, I gotta say Lonnie, man. Between Lonnie and Skills, because for real, they got both of those guys got this a style that's for real that's very creative, and it's not about the same stuff. It's just there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's Lonnie and Skills, man. That's it.
Very, very
that's
respectable.
real. I mean, and that's as real as I can get. I don't give a damn who in their feelings about it, because it don't matter. You know what I mean?
It don't matter. Your perspective.
I'm following it.
And it's argue. I mean, it's hard to argue it though. I mean, it's hard to argue it. It's hard to argue it. You really can't argue it. If you listen to music, I've listened to a lot of Lonnie's raps, and I feel like sometimes, as a fan of music, I can be tormented at times with not understanding why he hasn't created more.
Exactly, and truth be told, this guy's supposed to been going a long time ago, man. They supposed to have done this a long time ago. I mean, I'm talking about further, and
you can tell Lonnie's influences based off how he rap. I mean, you can tell Lonnie love Hove. You can tell where the influences are. You could just tell.
Exactly.
Exactly. All right, two more questions. Let me keep it. I'm gonna go political on it one time a little bit, man. How do you feel about the current climate of Petersburg City? Because it seems like there's some attempts being made. You know what I'm saying? There's some money coming into the city.
Getting better. It's getting better than it was. I can say that. It's getting better than it was. Because for real, every day you turn on the news and something was going on in Petersburg politically. What I'm saying? And it's like, what the hell are they doing with the money down there? I mean, where's the money going? I mean, what are they doing? I mean, hey, get your hands out of my pocket. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what it was. So,
And you know what though, man? I think when I talked to Mayor Parham about this, I think the media does Petersburg wrong, because the media only is very intentional in sharing the bad news.
Well,
that's the media in general. That's the media in general. But I'm just saying, like, they don't really cover the good news much.
Exactly. And politically, where it is it's like I said, man, you got a lot of, I just did a function Saturday morning. They had a teen youth summit right here in Petersburg at the Parks and Rec. Shout out to Miss Tammy Yerby and Ryan Massenberg. They called in a lot of people. They called in a lot of, they called in the heavy guns, and it was like, they had people talking and speaking virtually, and it was amazing. I mean, to see the connection that they still have, and they can utilize it, because like I said, you got landmarks like, like, you probably was still here when Lee Park was jumping. I mean, it was like Lee Park was like our version of Bird Park, for real. You was looking for Sundays. I mean, you was looking for somewhere to go, somewhere to hang out at, And it's like they took that away. I mean, to see that, I'm like, well, damn. I mean, they done shut Lee Park all the way down, brother. Took the basketball racks down and everything. You remember how it was over there. You would come up there, you would find, when Moses Malone was still living, and Mark West, and I mean those guys, just to see them guys out there, just balling out there, it was amazing.
Yeah. All right, last question. Yo, on a Petersburg, I'm gonna keep it Petersburg. I gotta ask a Petersburg. What happened to Tyra B? You heard that name in a while?
Actually, her uncle just passed last month, and she's back and forth in Atlanta, I think.
Okay,
I talked to her. I talked to her cousin, Marvin, and
got you.
and they, Tyra's still, she's still writing. She's still doing what she does.
Yeah. That's another name. That's another name that kind of was really
Yeah,
making
she's
some
still
noise.
going
But
out
then,
here too.
yo, you remember when it's Cole Hendricks now. But
Yeah,
you remember when Fat Tommy and them had Lil Nicky with X Records?
yeah, 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 yeah,
I thought man,
yeah.
just kind of going back. I'm thinking back at that time. I was watching a video the other day that I saw someone, I think Skills may have reposted it, where it was clips from Made in Virginia clips.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
mhm,
man. All
yeah.
right, before we close, brother, go ahead. You gonna say something?
No, I mean Nikki was supposed to have been gone too. I
She was
mean,
supposed to be gone, and if she could be, I'm telling you now, she can go.
yeah, but she's still talented too. I mean, she done got into photography and she's still writing and stuff too. So
Yeah,
it's like I said, it's just a lot of talent around here
yeah,
in Virginia. I mean, it's not just because a whole lot of people tend to look at like Pusha and all them guys down there, and
yeah,
they're friends. They're cool with us too, and
yeah,
but it's a lot of talent for real, for real.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
We're a melting pot, man. I tend to think we're a melting pot, man. We got the benefits of having both northern and southern influences right here.
Called Up South.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to them guys. Shout out to guys like Moo and all of those guys. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they made it up south. It's not down south. It's not up north. It's up south. That's what they call it. So, yeah.
For sure. Well, Foot, man. Before we go, I gotta get a shameless plug out of you, man. Can you let the audience know why they should rock with the Randy Wilson podcast? And if there's somebody in your mind that you feel like I should shine a light on, you know what I'm saying? Feel free to voice the name or share it with me, because that's part of how I continue to push it. You know what I'm saying? I take the guidance from people. I'm on a path. and if I knock on the door and you open and you say, yeah, come on in, I'd love to have a conversation with you. I take advantage of that and I say, yeah, you have any neighbors that you feel like I should be having a conversation with as well? That's kind of how I navigate through, man. But if you could let people know why you feel like having a conversation is beneficial and how, please share.
Well, I want to, me personally, I would love to get a, a legend, and his name is Joe Marsh. He goes by Dr. Smooth, and he's the icon, and I'm gonna say he's like the linchpin around here, because he's an older guy. He's been here. I mean, he's paved the way for guys like myself, and I just need for him to be recognized as that guy. Like of course you got the Kirby Carmichaels and and the Sam the Beast and all these guys, and this is one guy who needs to be recognized as, not only is he a legend, he's that icon. In my eyes, I mean, ain't nobody, I don't think it's, as far as DJs and stuff is concerned, ain't nobody bigger. Nobody.
Mm.
Nobody. And if it means I have to, I had to drag him out here to get it done, I'll get it done. I mean, because that's my big brother, and it's like things like this, needs to be recognized too. Not only us as a younger generation, because I mean I'm a little older guy myself, but I mean he's a little bit older than I am, but he's that guy, and anybody that knows will agree be in agreement with it, and just know that guy needs to be recognized.
Well, yo, man, we'll need to continue to talk and figure out to make that happen. But I think what makes that happen, what makes that particularly when we go up and because I try to talk to all people, man. I talk to youngins. I'm look, there ain't a conversation I've ever been unwilling to have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But I will say one of the things that makes these conversations meaningful is like, whether I'm reaching young or I'm reaching up, you got to be able to then figure out the ways to attach the demographic that supports them to kind of feed that conversation, because a lot of these young folk may not know. And unless they have someone like you or someone who that they can connect with, that can endorse it, it's a matter of like giving them. See, a lot of folks, they don't use IG.
Right.
Facebook, whatever the case is. So we got to find those ways. But yo, I'm open to having a conversation with anybody, and I'm getting more and more comfortable now. You know what I'm saying? Gradually trying to come outside and find ways. So you know, if you have some ideas or if you have some thoughts, you know what I'm saying, in the city, you know what I'm saying, in Petersburg, or some things we can do, let me know, man. I'm very very open and very appreciative to
And once
engage.
again, I want to put it out there that I mean this podcast is you're doing an amazing job, man, and you need to just keep doing what you're doing because your calling is here, and you need to keep doing this, man. Because for real, I've sit and watched you interview a lot of people. Sit and watched you talk to a lot of different folks and a lot of different genres. I mean, all the way through, man. I mean, the versatility is amazing. I mean, what you're doing, just need to keep up the good work.
Thank you, man. Hey, when I get words like that from you, man, it motivates me. So I appreciate that. Yo, I don't know if you saw the legendary DJ Cool shouted you out on one of my recent
Yeah.
shows.
That's my guy too. Yeah.
Yeah,
He came through. I met him when he came through here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we back in 24 South Union flavor days. You know what I mean? And to see him, when he came here, and then to see him at the Coliseum. I mean, the first time I seen him perform at the Coliseum, it was like damn, he really showing off. I mean, so and then after that, it was like conversation was like, it's crazy, man. I mean, and that's one of my brothers too, man. So
very down to earth
definitely down.
guy, man. Very down to earth guy. I just shared something on Instagram a few minutes ago. I think he doing a show. Excuse me. I think he's doing like a live show or something maybe on the internet here real soon. So definitely want to shout him out. Want to shout out the whole city of Petersburg. While I got DJ Foot on here, y'all know I rock with you. You know, so I'm an honorary Petersburg citizen. Hopewell, Colonial Heights, Ettrick, Blackstone. Where y'all at? You know what I'm saying? Shout y'all out. Don't want to leave anybody out. You know what I'm saying? Just really appreciative to have you on. I'm about to go check out them Lakers, man. I'm about to go see what we doing to you guys. You know what I'm saying? If it gets ugly, I might make a post tonight, tag you in it. We'll see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? But man, Foot, man, hey, it means a lot to me, man. Thank you very much, man. Tell Big Nat to get on the show, man. I sent him a message a long time ago. I don't be pressing people, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'd love to have Nat on the show. I'd love to have you both on this
Oh
show
man.
together,
Oh
man.
God. Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah, man. That'd be crazy.
Man,
But
hey man, I can tell you that right now. Yeah, he's funny, man.
we may have a show coming up soon with Bink. We've had some conversations. Bink,
Yeah.
the producer out of the 757.
Right.
So just y'all stay tuned. We got shows coming. This is
Okay.
DJ Foot, episode 72. Foot, stick with me, man. I'm about to close out, and we'll see you guys
Appreciate you,
later.
brother.
All right.
God bless, man. Thank you.